Hello, fellow peasants. Tonight I'll be reviewing 1972's 7 Bloodstained Orchids. Alright guys, so I watched 7 Bloodstained Orchids. This came out in 1972. It's like a Giallo-style Dario Argento film. So if you like those types of films, this might be something you want to check out possibly, but what's it about? Well, this guy's going around killing all these random chicks, and the police can't figure out exactly how they're all tied together, and they want to know if there's like a motive, if there's some sort of through line that connects these women, and yeah, it just appears at random, and he's going around killing these women, and the police and the husband of one of the so like one of the women early on in the film, he tries to kill her but she survives, and so the rest of the film is like her husband working with the police to try to catch this guy and figure out who it is, because he doesn't want him coming back to try to finish the job. And yeah, it's just the typical Giallo film where it's murder scene, check it out. Murder scene, check it out. Discussion. It's pretty paint by the colors, paint by numbers, or whatever you want to call that. Paint by numbers. Giallo. And yeah, so what do I like, what do I not like about 7 Bloodstained Orchids? Well, I guess what I like, and this is me having to look past whatever shitty transfer Tubi got their hands on of this, because the transfer for this, it must have been DVD or some rough transfer they got their hands on, but I can tell it was shot well. I can tell it was shot well. It just looks rough as shit, resolution wise. So I like the cinematography here. I like the sets. I think that the interiors are nice. I think the locations that they choose on the streets are cool. I'm gonna have to say, physically, the performances seem okay. They're decent. I didn't mind the physicality of the performances, whether that be facial tics or you know, people fighting with the killer, you know, in a struggle, because this film is dubbed over, and so I you know, so, and the dub work is not good at all. Like, this is probably some of the worst dub work ever. Like, these people just phoned it in on this, okay? So but I can tell that the actors, like, based on physical facial expressions and things like that, it seemed like the real performance was so much better than whatever the fuck they did in the vocal booth to dub this thing, okay? What else? I think some of the kills are okay. Like, you know, I think there is a little bit of suspense. Like, there's a moment at the end where someone comes to a realization about something. I'm not going to spoil it because this is a whodunit. But there's a moment where the husband of the woman who has survived the attempted murder, who's been working with the police, he comes to the realization of who the killer is. And at that same time, without them even saying who it is, you also, because you know, because basically somebody's talking to him and they describe the killer, right? Like his physical appearance or whatever. And the look on the husband's face is like, and in that moment you're like, fuck, I know who it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's shocking who it is. And yeah, so that was a moment of like eeriness, that was a very pale face, ghost, like, when you're shocked and you get that, like, the blood drains from your face. It was a very, like, that type of moment when you come to the realization of who it is. It was creepier than other ways that they do the reveals in these. So I really appreciated that. The reveal was done nice. The reveal was done nice and created a lot of spookiness and tension. That's about it. That's about all I like. What I don't like is, well, I don't like the crappy dub work. I think that although I think the performances physically were decent, you know what I mean? I think they were good. You could tell the actors did a decent job. Probably, with delivering the actual lines and things like that. There's just something about the film, and I know the overdub was bad, but it wasn't so, like, I've seen overdubbed. I've watched, most of these are dubbed over, and like, the writing in this just didn't create, I guess what I'm trying to say is the writing here did not make you care about what was going on. Sometimes, like, the dub work is shit and the acting's not that great, but the writing, the dialogue keeps you invested, and the editing and the pacing of things. I just think the pacing is horrible here. It just feels all over the place. Like every aspect of this film, well, not every aspect, I won't say that, because I did like the cinematography. But there's just when you put all the pieces together that make this film, each part does its own part in not convincing you to care, okay? There's just something about this movie that you're just like, I'm just not invested. This is a whodunit. I've seen a million of these. What about this feels different and is going to stand out? And you're waiting for it, and you're waiting for it, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't come. You never get that, like, moment of, oh, this is a good movie. Like, it doesn't come. It doesn't happen. And I know I'm struggling to find words here, but that's just how the movie feels. There's just something lacking. I can't put my finger on, and it's not a specific thing. I think it just fails in multiple areas in convincing you to give a fuck about what's happening. And that's one of the biggest sins a movie can commit, is being boring and not relaying the message, whether visually or through dialogue, that this is important, this matters. It comes across as a little cheesy, made for TV. It doesn't have the weight and the depth of a Tenebrae or a Cat o' Nine Tails or the Bird with the Crystal Plumage. It just doesn't have that level of quality here that helps you stay engaged and want to finish the film. This film was a struggle to get through. I wouldn't recommend watching this. Now, if you really love Giallo films, I would say go ahead, whatever. Like, do whatever you want to do, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch this thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Like, the other thing that it really sucked at is, like, even some of the crappier Giallos that I've seen, they have good red herrings. They throw you off the trail. And there's not really any red herrings in this film at all. Like, the whole film you're never once suspecting anybody. Now, I will say, like, the reveal is shocking because of who it is, okay? But there's never moments throughout the film where you're like, oh, he said that, I bet it's him. Or, you know what I mean? Like, other films throw you off the trail a little bit. Here, they don't even take the time to get you to care enough. They don't even do enough writing to have red herrings. It's just, oh, at the end, it was him. It's like, oh, okay, well, I think it's fun to watch when you watch whodunits, to have at least a couple people that you're like, oh, I thought it was them, or hey, I think it's them. I bet it's them. You know, that didn't happen in this film. So, I don't know. I just think it was lazy writing, and overall, I just wasn't engaged. So, but that's it, guys. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. I will be back next week on Monday. I don't know what I'll be doing. I'll maybe do a review. Maybe I'll do something else. Not sure. But taking a break. Got a 3-day weekend coming up. And that's it, guys. Have a good one, peasants. Peace out. Bye-bye.